Call to order. Welcome to Aurora's Committee of Adjustment meeting. The time currently is 7:01 p.m. on Thursday, February 13th, 2025. I would like to call this Committee of Adjustment meeting to order. I will start by introducing the committee members and staff. I am the Secretary Treasurer. My name is Peter, and the remaining members are as follows: Alida, John, Michael, Claudia, Marcella, and the senior planner is Antonio Greco. The first item on the agenda with the new committee before us, we will have to appoint a committee chair and vice chair for the remainder of the term. I will begin with the nominations of the committee chair. Do I have a nomination for the committee members to appoint a committee chair? John?
John nominates Alida Terry as chair of the Committee of Adjustment.
Thank you, John. Alida, do you agree with that nomination?
Yes.
Thank you, Alida. Do I have any additional nominations for committee chair? Claudia?
I second Alida Terry.
Perfect. Sorry. Awesome. Sorry. Can I also get, with that said, then can I get a motion to appoint Alida as the committee chair? Marcella? Marcella, can I get a motion, please?
I go ahead and nominate. Yeah. I second.
Sorry. Sorry for the
I
confusion.
move to appoint Alida as committee chair for the duration of this committee term.
Thank you. Do I have a seconder for that motion? Michael? All in favor? Motion's carried. The next item on the agenda, we will open up nominations for the committee vice chair. Do I have a nomination for the committee members to appoint a committee vice chair? Alida?
I can put that nomination forward even though I'm chair, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I will nominate Michael as vice chair.
Michael, do you agree with the nomination?
Yes.
Perfect. Do I have any additional nominations for committee vice chair? Do I have any additional nominations for committee vice chair? No. Can I please get a motion to appoint Michael Visconti as the committee vice chair, please? John?
I move to appoint Michael Visconti as the committee vice chair for the duration of this committee's term.
Thank you. Do I have a seconder for that motion?
I second.
Claudia, thank you. All in favor? Motion carried. With that, we now have the committee chair as Alida and Michael Visconti as committee vice chair. I now hand it over to you, Alida.
Thank you, Peter. So I'll start with the land acknowledgement. The town of Aurora acknowledges that the Anishinaabe lands on which we live on and work are the traditional and treaty territory of the Chippewas of Georgina Island, as well as many other nations whose presence here continues to this day. As the closest First Nation community to Aurora, we recognize the special relationship the Chippewas have with the lands and the waters of this territory. They are the water protectors and environmental stewards of these lands, and as a municipality, we join them in these responsibilities. We further acknowledge that Aurora is part of the treaty lands of the Mississaugas and the Chippewas, recognized through Treaty Number 13, as well as the Williams Treaties of 1923. A shared understanding of the rich cultural heritage that has existed for centuries and how our collective past brought us to where we are today will help us walk together into a better future. And with that, we will go to the agenda. So the first item on the agenda is the approval of the agenda. If I could please get a motion to approve tonight's agenda.
I move approval of the agenda.
Thank you, Michael. And if I could please get a seconder. Thank you, John. All in favor? Carried. Thank you. Does anyone have a pecuniary interest? Seeing none. Thank you. And now we move on to the minutes of the past meeting. And if I could please get a motion to approve those minutes, if I could please have a mover to approve the past Committee of Adjustment minutes.
I
Thank
move
you.
approval of the past minutes.
Thank you, Michael. And if I could please have a seconder.
I second that motion.
Thank you, Claudia. All in favor? Carried. Thank you very much. Tonight's public meeting is being audio and video recorded. It is also being conducted virtually and through the use of Zoom technology. Your name, address, comments, and any other personal information are being recorded according to the Municipal Act and the Municipal Freedom of Information and Protection of Privacy Act. This will help our town clerk prepare accurate minutes and to create a record that is available to the general public, including on the town's website. Any questions about the collections of this information should be directed to the town clerk. Please be advised that the reports being considered tonight are available on the Town of Aurora website and through staff at the town's planning department. Should you wish to receive notification of any of the decisions of tonight's meeting, please complete the appropriate form available through town staff. Applicants and agents will automatically be notified. For each application that we are considering tonight, the following process will occur. I will briefly outline the purpose of the application, and then the applicant or agent will then be given the opportunity to make a presentation. It is the applicant's decision whether they wish to speak or let the application proceed on the merits of the information received. Presentations and any deputations are limited to 5 minutes as much as possible. Following any initial comments from the applicant, I will invite members of the public who have an interest in the application to come forward and address the committee. Those members of the public who wish to speak must clearly state their name and address and must provide this information to the Secretary Treasurer. Should you wish to obtain a copy of the notice of decision, please complete the appropriate form available through the Secretary Treasurer. Members of the public are reminded that text comments are not permitted during the meeting and that they will not be noted in any manner or at any time. Each individual may speak only once on an issue, and once discussion has commenced in respect of a motion, no further presentations shall be made. If you require any technical assistance with your presentations, please let us know. If you wish to speak and are currently following the meeting on the YouTube feed, you will need to turn this feed off and join the live meeting, as there is a slight lag between the YouTube and the live feed. If you could please ensure that all questions and/or comments are directed through me as the chair, and if relevant, I will request the appropriate person to respond. It should be noted that the applicant will be given the opportunity to respond to any questions or comments should the committee feel that this is appropriate. So now we will begin with the items on the agenda. So tonight we only have one consent application, and it's from Hunzak Holding Inc. at 24 Desjardins Way. The purpose of the proposed consent application is to sever the subject lands as follows, which is also in Appendix B of the staff report. A, proposed retained lands on the eastern parcel, parts 1, 2, and 3 of the draft reference plan with a total area of 0.76 hectares or 1.89 acres. B, proposed sever lands on the western parcel, parts 4 and 5 of the draft reference plan with a total area of 2.45 hectares or 6.07 acres. And C, to establish a right-of-way. The proposed right-of-way over Part 2, the eastern parcel of the draft reference plan, in favor of the proposed severed lands, the western parcel, for the purposes of vehicle access from Desjardins Way. I understand that we have no public correspondence to be received tonight for this application. And I will read out the staff recommendation conclusion. Staff have reviewed the application with respect to section 51, subsection 24 of the Planning Act as amended, the provincial policy statement, provincial plans, and the town's official plan, and are satisfied with the proposed consent application. Based on the aforementioned, staff have no objection to the approval of the consent application file C-2023-05, subject to the conditions outlined in Appendix A of this report, which can be found on page 12 of the agenda. I'm not sure, Peter, if the applicant needs to say anything to us today. Or I can also ask if anybody of the committee has any questions or any comments. Chris, I'm assuming you are the applicant. Sorry, we can't hear you.
How's that working?
Yep, now we can hear
Okay.
you.
Thank you.
Pleasure to meet you, Chris.
Pleasure to meet you as well.
I don't know if you have anything to say or if you have a presentation, and I'm not sure if any committee members have any questions for you.
Through the chair, I can speak a couple of sentences and then open to questions if you have any.
Sure, that would be great. Thank you.
Sorry
Thank
to
you.
interrupt, Chair. Can Chris please state your name and address for the record, please? Thank you.
Yes. Through the chair, my name is Chris Bertato of C-Space Architecture, the agent and architect for this project. Our office address is 8841 George Bolton Parkway, Unit B5 in Caledon. The owner of this project is Hunsack Group Holdings, Inc., Jordan Colm being representative. Unfortunately, he's a bit under the weather tonight, unable to attend. I can take any questions if you have for the future, if you'd like to speak to any of us on there. The proposed project is to sever an existing lot, vacant lot at 24 Desjardins Way into two separate parcels with an established right-of-way between the two parcels off of Desjardins Way that will serve as a shared access driveway to both of the lots. So the smaller lot to the east is 1.8 acres and home to a baseball training facility that is currently under construction. The west lot that we're seeking to separate into is 6.17 acres in area and is intended for future employment uses, more specifically a multi-tenant building intended for primarily health and medical oriented uses. So we've read the staff report and are thrilled with the support. We feel that this consent application and related development will contribute to the town and region's employment targets in line with the official plan policies and will enhance the prestige of the town, both for this business park location and for Aurora in general in proximity to Highway 404. And we've read the conditions in Appendix A and agreed to them. If there are any questions from the committee members or the public, I'll do my best to answer them. Thank you.
Does anybody have any questions?
Chris,
John?
Chris, I only have one question. You mentioned that the western parcel that is being severed, was it 6.07 acres or 6.17 acres?
I saw 6.07, or I heard that was mentioned. We have written 2.5 hectares, which
Okay.
I believe. So we'll give it hectares, 2.5 hectares.
Okay. Thank you.
Does anybody else have any questions? Michael?
Through you, Madam Chair, just a question for Chris. We as a committee are asked to consent to a severance. One being the westerly portion, which is, I know I've driven by the property, I know the property, and it's very highly elevated. And I guess the driveway that's going to be mutually shared with the baseball training facility and this new parcel, is that sufficient to allow for the parking? I understand there is an entranceway from Leslie Street, which is going to require quite a bit of a grading plan to get up because it's the land is highly elevated. Can you just go through, for my sake anyway, what your proposal is going to be that in regards to that?
Through the chair, may I be permitted to share my screen? I have both a drawing of the survey and the proposal that we have sketched thus far, including a site plan that will show the entrances. I can also verbally explain it.
Yes, you should be able to share your screen. If you are having an issue, then I will ask the staff to assist, but you should be able to.
Okay.
Thank you.
Through the chair, is this working?
Not yet.
Oh, I have to hit share. Okay. There.
There we go. Yeah, now it's coming up.
Okay, so through the chair, this is the site plan that we have devised for phase 2 of this development, the Medical Arts Building. You'll see to the east a shared driveway off of Desjardins Way that's already pretty much under construction right now, that is shared with the baseball training facility. That will enter onto one side of the property, accessing the east side of the building. We have two other driveways proposed. One would be straight off of Desjardins Way, off the south, quite a ways away from the shared access driveway, if you can see my mouse pointer there. And then the other one will be from Leslie Street, a driveway here, and they will all open up into surface parking. Only the one from Desjardins Way will lead directly into the building, which will be graded accordingly. The first thing we did in designing this building, the first exercise we went through was to conduct a grading plan with a civil engineer to make sure that these driveways would work with the building we were proposed. The building will have a few stories, 11, I believe we're suggesting. And yeah, there will be 3 accesses into the building from parking areas and from Desjardins Way.
Does that answer your question, Michael?
It does, yeah. Thank you, Chris. Knowing that this is going to go through site plan approval is also beneficial. Yeah, thank you for that, Chris.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, I don't see any other questions. Do I have someone that would like to put a motion forward for the application? John? You're just muted. Yeah.
Technology. I'll give it a go. That the applicant C2024-7 by Hunzak Holdings Inc. for the property municipally known as 24 Desjardins Way be approved subject to the conditions as outlined in Schedule A.
Excellent. And if I could have a seconder for that motion?
I'll second that motion.
Thank you, Michael. All in favor? Carried. Excellent. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mrs. Chair and committee members.
Thank you. And just looking here. So the next item on the agenda is if there's any items of new business. Which nope, no new business. Great. And so I will ask someone to put a motion for adjournment.
I move adjournment.
Thank you, Michael. So we will adjourn at 7:20. And if I can please have a seconder. Thank you, John. All in favor? Carried. Thank you very much, everyone. And I guess before we sign off, Peter, is there anything else you need from us?